Hey everyone, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, whatever time it is, wherever you are. Welcome back. It is new project car time. Yeah, it's time for something a little different, a little same. Okay, I'm gonna stop messing you around. Here's the new car. It is another estate. This one's a little different. It's the LCI, so it's got a little bonnet streaks and little creases and things that look a little different. Kidney grills are different, lights a little different, etc., etc. This one in particular is a 320D, so fuel efficient, but the N47 variant. Now the N47 obviously has the infamous timing chain problem, but I think it's been done. I'm not too sure. But this car has a problem with that. And I don't mean the gearbox, I mean the thing that connects the engine to it. So the flywheel and the clutch. It's got a horrible, and I mean, oh, that's a very tight gap. I'll try to squeeze through. Thin thoughts. Whew, there we go. It has a horrible rattle from the dual mass flywheel. So I have to change that. Other than that, the car starts well, does what it should. The clutch is obviously so new clutch kit, as you see. Full UK rep set, dual mass flywheel, the lot. What was this I bought again? Glass cleaner. Got brakes for the silver 525, filters for a service on this 320D because I don't know its. To be fair, I actually do know the the service history of this vehicle. It's actually been done very well, so yeah, it's due a service now. It's been about 8,000 miles to a year since the last one, and it's been kind of on time with the rest, so we're going to go ahead and do that. What else do we have here? We've got parts of 5 Series, the blue 5 Series, so shocks, bump stops, and strut top mounts, because one of them's collapsed. And then we've got some interior bits, and we've got a swirl flap delete for this engine, because we don't want it to throw a chunk in there. We've got a new passenger side door handle, and what is this? Oh yes, sun visor. Because the sun visor's damaged, and this should be the dome light, because we've got a few issues with the current ones. So as you can see, the dome light is missing the plastic, and that is horrible, and that is horrible as well. The car as well also needs a deep clean. It's definitely been a smoker's car, so yeah, I definitely need to clean it all out, get the seats out, and give it a good deep cleaning. And we'll have to clean the headliner and all that kind of stuff to get the smoke smell out. I've left it for a few days, kind of like open, but yeah, it's problematic. Not a great smell. But we've got the steam cleaner and the deep carpet extractor, which I didn't show in the detailing video of the RX-8 because I thought the video was long enough. So let me know if you want a detailing video of this car. I might just here and there with it a bit. But yeah, this is the new car. I think it's going to do well on the channel. This is obviously going to be Catherine's replacement car because she's not bonded with the blue 5 Series, so she did request a estate. And obviously I had to find something that was broken so it didn't break the bank. But not too broken that it broke the bank either, so I think this car will be a happy medium. I'm kind of on the fence of things like the timing chain. I can't find the service of it being done, so I don't know. I might be doing the timing chain. Yeah. Oh yeah. Well, we'll get to that later, and I'm going to start taking the gearbox and things off, so let's just dive straight into it. Before we get started, public service announcement. Always make sure your drains are clear, because, yeah, the wildlife, etc. will decide to start growing in there. And... ugh, that was hard. There's so many years of debris in here. Right. It looks a bit less mucky, but I think it's... oh, that was nasty. That was just filled with gunk. That was unpleasant. I did not expect to have something squish when I stuck my hand in there. Yeah, I'm gonna get the hose and spray that all out, and yeah, we want those clear because that will rust. Because that is just wet mud. It's that trap there, so yeah, we'll clean those up. They're supposed to have little grills in there, but it looks like the grills have gone missing, so I'll have to find some of those, because the grills stop the muck going down there, decomposing and creating this. Yeah, because the 325, I religiously clean those vents out, so please people, clean those vents out on your cars, or you're gonna have a bad time. Or I will, because I'll probably buy the damn thing. I'm obviously starting to dig into the car, and that is our air filter. So yeah, very good thing I decided to check that out, and we've got a new one over there, because that's not good in any sense of the fashion. Oh, does this car have an electronic steering rack? Oh, interesting. And yeah, the turbo as well is also very accessible on this. This is my first time working on an N47. I've worked on the M47, because obviously we had the two 320Ds there, but this whole new ball game. But I think I can crack it. I'm just gonna have to methodically go through this thing and make sure that everything's set up, because yeah, looks like we've got a few things hiding here and there, so we'll go through the whole car, check everything's good. Brakes, lines, bushings, etc. Yeah. Hopefully she's not too bad, so we'll see. Okay, obviously the mud, etc. extends to the other side, so down there. Obviously our filter was quite dirty, and we seem to have a lot of dirt under the cabin air filter, and I've pulled the screws off, and we can see together how, oh wow, bad this one is. Yeah, definitely needs a change. What was that? It's a man filter. Cool. Let's pop this down here. What do you guys think? New shelving in the garage? Yeah. Neatened it up, got all the other junk out of here. So yeah, it's starting to shape up a bit better, you know. Getting there. I gotta build some more stuff with these pallets so I can get them out the way. When I have some more free time, that is, to obviously build more pallet furniture, so. But yeah, I must say, I'm enjoying having some proper workbenches here. It's kind of nice, work on the car, parts, back and forth. Right, let's get the rest of this out of here. We'll undo these bolts here and here, all these plastic clips here, and then lift the whole thing up and out, and we'll see what the rest of this has to hold for us. Now, see, this is why you always go through a new vehicle thoroughly, because as you can see, I've pulled everything out the way here to get the airbox out because I want to clean it. I decided to have a look at the condition of the belt, which is not fantastic at all. But the bigger problem is the pulley, as you can see. Yeah, that's definitely due to fail very, very soon. So I'm glad we're in here sorting that out at the same time. But you can also see the belt itself is got plenty of age and various fractures. So yeah, probably a good thing we're changing all that out as well. Also, this whole thermostat situation here looks a lot easier to work on than the M57, because obviously I've just changed the thermostat on the blue 525, which is, yeah, a spoiler whether I bring that video out before this one. So yeah, there you go, obviously doing that. So also did the thermostat on my 320D, because it wasn't getting up to operating temperature. Afterwards it did, and that was also pain in the butt, but this one looks like it might be easier. We'll obviously see how this vehicle drives, etc. Looks like some sort of actuating arm here on the EGR system. Yeah, that's much different compared to the old M47. So I'm gonna pull this cover off and do some more investigation. Oh yeah, did I loosen all these up enough? Let's always remember to pull those little tabs out there. So many people forget that and tear them off. Yeah, that one's already half out. So up and forward and, oh, hold on. Oh, that's new. The washer line's now attached to that. Never had that before. And, oh, this is, oh, there we go. Oh, that just threw a lot of leaves into the engine bay. Fantastic. But now we can get the cover off. I've been looking over this engine a bit. Obviously we got what looks to be a leak here, but it's kind of all from up top. So first idea is it's obviously just spills from oil being filled up, because we don't have anything lower down between the rocker cover and the head itself. Like you see there, it's all dry. We do have a bit of a mark in this vacuum line. Solenoid vacuum line travels round and down, and that must be what actuates this little guy. But, wow, that is ridiculously stiff for some reason. I'll look into that. That might be a problem, so we'll have a look and see why that's not free moving like it should be, because you should be able to at least move it by hand. Because, let's see, spring pushes this way, so I should be able to push it inward. And, oh wow, that is jammed. So there's probably quite a lot of soot buildup in here stopping the flap. So this is a whole very different way of running the EGR system. And that runs directly into the block instead of the head, and going through the entire intake of the M47. Interesting. But we do have a leak here, which seems to be coming from this little guy. It seems to have its own little seal which goes around the intake, so we're gonna have to look into that. But I need to take the whole intake off anyway to get rid of the swirl flaps and put the blanks in, so these guys obviously don't fall in and, yeah, bounce around inside the engine, because that's never great. So we'll have to note where all the connectors go, etc. Take them off, all the ones for the injectors as well, undo the little placement screws here, and pull the whole harness up and away. We'll disconnect the battery first, and I think then we can get to things. It is quite interesting having the alternator up top here, because usually they're a bit lower on the older engines. AC compressors usually down there. So yeah, it's a little different. And of course we've usually got a power steering pump there, but we don't now because this guy is electric, so yeah, it's very interesting. Also I don't know whether it's me or these intercooler pipes just look like they're bigger on this engine, so I don't know, maybe this N47's capable of a bit more power than the old M47. Yeah, quite interesting to see how they've changed things on these. Other than that, we don't seem to have any nefarious leaks or anything, which is fantastic news. Which means I don't need to change this rocket cover gasket, because I don't want to, because it involves pulling the injectors out. And I heard that's a bit of a pig of a job. And you need a special tool sometimes. So, yeah. If I can avoid it and leave it, I shall. But what we will do is we'll clean up all this and we'll monitor to see whether anything does come back. But we're going to look into this guy and see what's going on here. I'm not sure what this is yet, obviously. Just getting to grips with all the little component changes of the new engine, so we'll get into that. Well, it's about an hour and a half later, and I have managed to finally get the intake manifold off. There it is. Obviously, now I know what that little thing is. It's a little motor to control the swell flaps, so you can see them move in there. Yay! So I've got to pull these little guys out. And yeah, fit the blanks. This is going to be interesting because this is a very different model to the one I've seen. So yeah, it's nowhere near the same as the M47 and M57. Because, yeah, I've done swell flaps on them. Very easy to do. One of the other big challenges, besides taking the whole frickin' wiring harness off there, is I had to take the alternator off, move the AC compressor down there while keeping the lines on, to take this bracket off, which fits here, there-ish, so I could get the manifold off. And then, yeah, one of the other big pain in the butts was you got to take this little plug off. I didn't see that it went down here, so it was still keeping tension under. So this obviously goes to the little throttle body here on the intake. So yeah, something else to keep in mind when taking the whole thing off. Yeah, I'm going to look over the blanking kit now for this swell flap setup. And hopefully it's not too bad. I mean, shouldn't be, but yeah, we'll see what I gotta do to get this thing out. It might be a battle, so let's go ahead. I've got the swell flaps out. That was a disastrous, utterly disastrous endeavor. My new workshop looks like a massacre, but anyway, they're out. Horrible little things, so full of dirt. I've cleaned the majority of the gunk out. I just need to finish cleaning off the rest of this EGR BS. I've also cleaned off majority of the rubbish on the throttle body, just to give it a bit more of a clean. But yeah, they're all out. Got to swap all the gaskets and then go ahead and put the little bung here in place to seal everything up. I did notice that the seal that was for the rod had actually failed, and that's where that leak was coming from. So that means we actually would have been losing manifold pressure through that hole as well, because yeah, this entire part here is pressurized and we would have lost boost through that little hole there where the rod was actually affixed to. So yeah, two birds with one stone. Apparently these swell flaps don't fail like the old ones, but still, with a manifold leak, we would have been losing power and it was leaking oil through there. So yeah, fix it. I'll get back to you when I'm done all this and I investigate what's going on with this little guy here and it not wanting to move. So I'm gonna unbolt everything there and have a look into it and see what it's like. Turbo, on the other hand, very good. No play in the shaft, nothing spins freely. So very good news. Turbo is good, because that would have sucked if the turbo was bad. Baptism by fire with this car. Well, it is a few minutes later, and we're done. The blank is in place, all situated, new gaskets. See, they got this little locating tab here that kind of lines up with the manifold, just so you know which orientation to put them in. Everything's all back together, cleaned up. Fantastic. Oh, I put the sensor back in. I just cleaned that up as well, just because it was literally peering through like the smallest of gaps. So hopefully now we'll get accurate manifold pressure readings as well. I've got to say, this man oil brake and clutch cleaner, oh, so good, and especially for the price as well, really good. And I've also decided to try their rust dissolver as well. Also works very well. I used it to get these, let's see, which one was it? I think it was this one, a really long stubborn bolt out. It had decided to, nope, sorry, wrong one. Where are you? This one had rusted itself in place. For that, got it out. Made quick work of it. So I'm definitely a big fan of this stuff. I've been using their oil for, so I decided to try this out. So yeah, I mean, definitely a good product. And no, I'm not sponsored by them. It would be nice, but yeah. Hey, Man Oil, hit me up if you want to sponsor a video. That'd be cool. But yeah, no, I bought this out of my own hard-earned money. Like I say, I've got the, what is it, the glass foam cleaner as well, and some other stuff. Let's have a look. Oh, there we go. Engine oil, and I think that was like 12 cans of brake cleaner. Yeah, because it was at such a good price. I think it worked out to something like £2 a can, which is ridiculously cheap considering everywhere else you pay like £6-8 a can for some brake cleaner. So, plus it's definitely a must when working on old diesel cars like this, because the dirt just gets everywhere. So I'm gonna have to come up with a solution for tabletop here, because yeah, maybe I should get some sheet steel, put it on top. Yeah, I think that would work better. Modify the workbench. So yeah, it's coming along. I've yet to pull that apart, but it's already like almost 7 in the evening. But we're in spring now, so we've got sunlight till about 8 o'clock, I think, now. So it's getting there. It's kind of nice having the longer evenings, and it's starting to warm up. So yeah. But I'm rambling, and this video's gone on for long enough. So I'm going to end it here, and we'll pick up with more stuff done on the 320D. Thanks for tuning in, and you guys stay awesome. Don't forget to drop a video like if you liked it. I decided to keep things a little more informative, yet, you know, not just me lazily talking to camera. So to keep things a little upbeat as well. So let me know how this whole vibe works. I feel like it's a better representation of my channel and stuff. Sometimes I don't quite, you know, feel like videoing, and I think it comes across in videos, and I've actually axed a few videos because while I was editing I didn't like the vibe of it, so I'm trying harder while videoing to, you know, portray a better vibe. Hopefully that comes across on camera. So, alright, I'm going to end this video off now. Okay, bye. Ooh, oh, I got it all over my freaking forehead. Well done. This is just not working out any better for me. How did I do that? Sort of better. How? You'd think I'd taken the swivel flaps up with my face. There we go. Camera ready. Where were we? Oh, not even the camera's camera ready right now. No? So I'm actually going to just leave that in the video. Anyway,